Kyrie Irving dropped by Nike, picked up by SIA? I have the inside scoop on SIA brand, its founder, and why Kyrie Irving would be interested in joining. SIA brand is owned and operated by Bay Area local Devlin Carter. Now, I have followed Devlin for a long time on Instagram. I've seen his work since he got serious into customizing sneakers, since he got into designing his own fashion wear, and the man is super talented. D has a super impressive resume. He's a US Coast Guard vet, and he even took a stab at a rap career. He used to go by the name D Nice, and then finally he dabbled his way into the fashion industry. Now, back whenever I first started following him on Instagram, that was whenever I followed the first account, which was the FBCC Bay Area account. He's since then obviously launched his SIA brand and SIA Collective Instagram. But back then he was super popular for dyeing soles. It was really hard to find any sort of chemical or any sort of dye that could successfully dye an icy sole and have it hold and look like it's supposed to be there. You would see a lot of sneaker customizers try and dye something like the Jordan 11 with the icy soles, and it just wouldn't come out the way that it was supposed to look. Customizers would start painting the soles with angleless paint, and it just wouldn't look as nice as what Devlin was using. Other people would see the customizations that he was coming out with, and they wanted to get their hands on that dye. So he launched it on a website and sold out of dyes like it was no tomorrow. It was crazy how much sole dye he actually sold, and then he started developing dyes that you could use on the uppers of the shoes as well. His product really spoke for itself right off the get-go. He would post short clips of how his product worked, and it truly was amazing. He would post all of his customs on his IG, and they were fire. So he did what every sneaker customizer would do and started taking orders. He'd post a custom if people wanted it and it wasn't a one of one, then he would go ahead and produce that for them for a rate. Now, what Devlin was so good at was deconstructing an entire shoe and recreating his own with an authentic base shoe. That's something that have got a lot of these new sneaker customizers in trouble because they're not deconstructing shoes from the ground up. They're just manufacturing bootlegs and putting them on the market and calling themselves sneaker customizers, which is why we've seen so many lawsuits from companies like Nike, Adidas, so on and so forth. As Devlin expanded his creative mind in this culture, he started posting some of the materials on his website that he was using, some of the tools, obviously his sole dyes, and everything kept selling out, whether that was ostrich material, python, alligator, cork. The customs that he was dropping had so much demand. But not only that, other sneaker customizers were trying to learn from him, wanted to use the same materials, the same products, and they wanted to know exactly how he was doing his customs. Now, just a guess, but I'm assuming Devlin, knowing that he could make money from start to finish of this whole process, decided to start doing classes to teach customizers how the process worked. He even expanded this to the youth. I remember seeing on his Instagram all of these kids in a shop customizing shoes. I mean, he took them all the way down to the sewing machines. They were building apparel from the ground up. Really inspiring to see something like that. And of course, along the way, real recognized real, and Devlin has been able to make some incredible connections. One being none other than Steph Curry. Steph has been seen at the parades, and even more often since then, wearing some shorts that were created by Devlin. Some shorts that became so popular that Devlin actually had to produce some like that, drop them on his website. Those shorts made it on figurines, bobbleheads, all of that. Now, I don't know if Steph had something to do with this or not, but a lot of these brands had their eye on Devlin, and Under Armour was the first one to take a chance on him. Devlin worked with Under Armour to create designs and to give them and innovate new ideas. Now, I haven't seen a lot between Devlin and Under Armour since then, but he's still established his connection with Steph Curry, and Steph continues to support SIA brand. Now, SIA stands for Somewhere in America. That is the brand that Devlin launched on his own. Something that's so inspiring to me is he's an entrepreneur who has done this stuff on his own from the get-go. Yes, he has assistants, he's grown. I'm sure he's shopped a lot of different manufacturers to be able to get his costs to where they need to be, but also still produce a very quality item. Devlin has always been about the quality, and that's why his products get recognized by so many. And not only that, but he brings them to the table at an affordable price. It's not cheap to manufacture shoes from the ground up. The prototypes and the molds alone are outrageous. We're talking upwards of 5 figures per size just to manufacture something as simple as a prototype sole for a shoe. Devlin has produced a lot of different models, a lot of different colorways, and they're really sticking with the culture. People love them. They sell out every time. I actually have a pair of shoes customized by Devlin. This was one of his first projects. Whenever he was deconstructing shoes, he deconstructed a pair of these Yeezy 350s and just covered them in leather. I believe I copped these from him in his personal size. I don't think he really made these to sell. These are probably a one-of-one. Of course, the note and Siggy. You can just see the attention to detail that he took even at the beginning of this sneaker career. I know people lately have been complaining heavily about Nike's quality control. I can tell you with confidence that quality control is not something that you're going to have to worry about whenever it comes to SIA Collective. So why does all this matter? Why is Devlin Carter important and why is SIA brand important? That's because there are talks that Kyrie Irving is about to join SIA brand. Now, is it true? I don't know for sure. There have been meetings. Devlin even posted on his Instagram about the meetings. Will they come to terms and make a deal? I don't know, but I think it would be very beneficial for both of them. Devlin is so innovative that he could create a hoop shoe for Kyrie. Doesn't matter what he wants it to look like, he'll make it happen. It'll be stylish, it'll be comfortable, and it'll be the best quality material. Kyrie can market it just like Steph could, just like Devlin could. Devlin's not one to go out and pay a ton of money for marketing for a shoe. Would he work with these elites? Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't he? That'd be a smart business decision. As long as everything makes sense and D can still stick to his roots, I feel like he's going to do this deal with Kyrie. And it makes sense for Kyrie because then he can be exactly who he wants to be and not worry about some high level of corporate hovering above his head all the time. Now, I'm curious what you guys think about this play. Do you think that joining SIA is a good move for Kyrie? Do you think that letting Kyrie come on is a good move for Devlin? After all, the guy is pretty much on his own. He's making an incredible amount of sales. Very successful entrepreneur. I think at this point for Devlin, it's something that could be great media, whether it be good media or bad media. There's no such thing as bad media. Just the connection between Kyrie and the SIA brand could be enough to spark an insane amount of business for Devlin. Quick pause and crazy news. Just as I was filming this video and editing it for you, like literally I'm editing it right now, Devlin posted on the SIA IG page mock-ups for Kyrie Irving himself, a hoop shoe that's a PE exclusive colorway for Kyrie, and then another pair of SIA Cross Trail highs that have I am free stitched on them, just like the pair of Nikes that he covered with tape and wrote the same words on. The post alongside the photo mentioned doing your own thing, living your life and representing yourself in the most real, vulnerable way possible, whether that means you be suppressed or shadow banned or what have you. Devlin is 100% on board. It's all in Kyrie's hands now. And how cool would it be if he could work with multiple hoopers? You know, whenever Steph's contract with Under Armour ends, maybe he'll come back to SIA brand because he's already got that relationship with D. I could see SIA being one of the next biggest shoe brands. This is something that Kanye should have been exploring a long time ago. He's got the funds. He's got the creative mind. All he needed was some sort of brains behind the operation that could take care of that part for him so that he could focus on business. All I can say is if Devlin and Kyrie end up working together, that first signature shoe is definitely one you're going to want to cop. It's going to be the most comfortable shoe that's ever been worn by a basketball player. I could almost guarantee that. It's going to have the highest quality material and it's going to be fashionable. It's going to shock the world. The media has already been all over what Kyrie has had on his feet since he's been dropped by Nike. Just wait till he has some SIA brand on. Devlin's going to be in the background with a big smile on his face, just knowing that what he's about to cook up next is gonna shock the sneaker culture. If you want to keep up to date with sneaker news stories like these, make sure you subscribe, turn those notifications on, and stay in the know. As always, thank you guys for watching, and do not forget, this is all about sneakers.